Welcome back to the program, and also welcome back to the program, Brad Argo from Midwest Basement Systems. Of course, it is getting cold. Everybody realizes that when you opened up the front door and got that blast of cold air, but you have to realize that when the weather turns like this, it affects a lot of things, including the soil that is right next to your foundation.
But this is the thing that's throwing us, Brad. It's cold. Everything's freezing, and then it warms up, and it starts to expand, and then we get cold again.
And then the water expands.
What in the world?
Welcome to Iowa.
Well, first of all, welcome to Iowa. But second of all, that means we really need to be looking at our homes because this might be doing something, especially to our basement wall system.
Yeah, it's something we don't really think a whole lot about, but this time of year especially, we've had a lot of rain this fall. We've had a lot of rain. So that soil against our homes is really, really wet.
It's saturated.
It's very saturated. And just like water, soil will expand when it gets cold.
Because the water is freezing, and everybody realizes water gets bigger when it freezes.
Exactly.
It's science.
It doesn't make any sense. Most things get smaller when they get colder, but water expands.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, right here is an example of a block wall, saturated soil. We got that surcharge or that push going against it, and you'll start to see this type of movement of your wall.
So when you start seeing those cracks forming in your walls, that should be your first indication, something's not right.
Yeah, that looks very familiar for people that have cinder block foundations.
Absolutely.
Exactly, and people see this a lot now. This is the first stage of really like 3 or 4 stages of really before it fails.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that because when I grew up in my house up in Northwest Iowa, we had walls that looked like this. At what point do you say, uh-oh, time to call in the experts? Do you avoid the cracks? Do you throw in a little caulking there for a while? Or is that you want to jump sooner than later because it's only going to get worse?
It's never going to be a better time to fix it than today. It's not going to be cheaper than it is to fix it today. So you start to see signs just like this. It's a good time to give us a call. People don't typically call us when they see this, and actually we've done enough. We have enough data on this to know that people wait 5 years
after they see that initial crack.
From the time they see the initial crack before they give a professional call to come take a look at it. That's
trying
average.
to think of my first house, how long I waited, because it's not going to get any worse.
I don't think my parents ever called.
Worse.
I think we had to completely replace.
Now, what happens? Let's go to the extreme here. Let's say that you keep putting it off, and 5 years goes by, 6, 7 years goes by. What is the ultimate that could happen?
That wall could just fail.
And then what would happen if that wall failed?
Your house collapses.
Okay, and that's the bottom line.
A lot of times it's not going to. It sounds really
implode
dramatic.
Or anything, yeah.
But your wall's going to collapse. Now, most likely your house isn't going to fall in.
Right.
But you're going to have an open area of your basement just looking right outside, and it's very difficult to fix at that point. You're going to have to jack the house up, excavate, build a new wall, perhaps fix, do some new footings. So that is an extreme case.
It's a major expense.
And we do block wall replacement. We do that job, but we like to help people before that becomes that big of an issue. And really think about how those blocks are stacked, or at poured walls, we can fix those as well. But you start to have the blocks start to not set on each other, the full 8 inches of the block. They're tipping in, so it's only catching a little bit of that weight. So once it starts to bow in, any engineer would come in and look at that and say, yeah, that wall is in danger, and it's not doing what it's intended to do by taking the weight of the home. So, and we actually have a little bit of video of a poured wall, because the same thing can happen with a poured wall as well. But instead of it's doing a stair-step crack in the block, you'll actually see cracks come in on the entire wall.
Okay, and
you'll see them coming in.
Would it be one big hunk that would fall off then, instead of the little tiny blocks that would come crashing in?
Yep, exactly. So one thing, and here's the block wall, and symptom you would see right there. And what we would do is we would, and here's the poured wall.
Okay.
So you see the big cracks.
So the whole section would come in.
Yeah, exactly. But the good thing is, we can fix this with a product called Power Brace. And it's a product we make here in Des Moines. And it's distributed all the way through North America. And it uses the weight of the home to get that wall back into a better position.
Okay, explain that.
So here's the product right here. They're steel eye braces, or I-beams, excuse me, that go into the floor with a cleat and then attach to your joists, your floor joists, right there.
So you got a very secure base.
Exactly.
And a very secure attachment point.
Exactly. and it pushes that wall back. Now, we can't, maybe if it's pushed in a lot, we can't straighten it that first day. We usually wait to tighten it in dry periods, because right now we're having a lot of weight pushing against that wall. So we want to wait until it's a little bit drier, but we come back each year and tighten that up until the wall gets back to, I wouldn't always say like the original position. Sometimes it's not possible to get it back into the original position of the wall, but the day we leave, it's stabilized. It's not going anywhere.
It's not going to collapse.
You're not going to have to worry about any of that stuff. The rest, we want to go back and try to get that wall as straight as possible.
Now, it looks like you're coming off of, obviously coming off the wall, the thickness of the I-beam that you have there.
Yep.
Now, what about, do you have to leave those beams exposed like that in your basement, or could you do something with that?
You can finish around that.
can.
We have to have access
like a little trapdoor type thing?
Yeah. Otherwise, once we get to its permanent location, then you can drywall over.
Then you can seal it up.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so there is a solution, but I like what you say. Today's the day to be thinking about this, because it's going to be cheaper now than it is when that wall continues to get worse.
As we like to say, these things won't get better with time, but they will get better with Midwest Basement Systems.
Okay.
I like that phrase.
I
didn't write it, but I do like it.
That sounds a lot better as well.
But the nice thing is, you can see, we can do this work all winter. So as you experience this, as you see these symptoms start to occur, because right now is really where you'll start to see them, we can do this work all winter long.
So even in the middle of winter, if you say, you know what, time is up, I'm not going to wait any longer, you can go there, you can stabilize it, and then when things dry up a little bit more, you can push it back and start the process of shoving that wall back where it belongs.
Precisely, because there are other ways to fix it, and some include excavating, putting a big concrete anchor pretty much, and then screwing that and drawing it back. Yeah, but we can only do that certain times of year, and we've really found that this is a more effective way of doing the work, and we can do it all year round.
All year round. Okay, so let's say, how do we start that first step? We've decided we've waited too long, or we're seeing those cracks, now's the time to act. What do we do first?
Free estimate for us to come out and take a look, and at least let you know what's going on with your home and how to fix that. 289-1606, or just check us out online at MidwestBasementSystems.com.
Okay.
Great work, great employees, too. The most professional people you will see coming into your home.
Yes, I firmly agree with that.
No, you do. I'm a customer. I know. You guys do some incredible work.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Brad. Great to see you. Appreciate it.